If you're waiting till 65 to travel, pursue your dreams, or just relax, you're doing it wrong. Today, I'm going to walk you through the importance of taking intentional mini retirements throughout your life. Live your adventures today rather than waiting. My name's Kate. I'm another girl with a microphone, and I think that one of the most beneficial things that you can do in life is to take action and collect experiences now as opposed to waiting. This is something near and dear to my heart, and our lives are short. One way that I orient my life, and one of the things that I believe the most, is that the biggest regrets come from what you didn't pursue rather than what you tried, but it didn't really exactly work out to your expectations. So don't wait. Use your layoff, career break, or PTO to your advantage. Take mini retirements now. Don't wait till 65 where you might have back problems, hip problems. You never know where life's going to be, and life isn't even guaranteed. What even is this concept of mini retirements? I picked up this phrase from Tim Ferriss's The 4-Hour Workweek. According to Ferriss, the new rich refers to individuals who pursue lifestyle design and personal fulfillment throughout their lives, rather than the more delayed traditional conceptions of wealth, such as accumulating money slowly over time, working long hours, and only really taking advantage of and pursuing experiences when you're at the end of your life or in that retirement era, when you may no longer be able to physically enjoy it. So he uses the term mini retirements as a series of intentional breaks spread throughout your career and life rather than saving it all to the end. Personally, I think that his definition goes a little further than mine. He says that you have to relocate for longer periods of time. For example, multiple months. He did up to 18 months, I want to say, traveling around the world and living for long periods of time in multiple different destinations. But I think it can be done in a more feasible, sustainable, and possible way for everyone. I think that more people have access to the way I think about mini retirements than Tim Ferriss's far-stretched way. I think that small trips can be just as valuable as traveling for 18 months and much more sustainable for most of us. I also think that it doesn't necessarily have to involve travel. Ferriss really promotes travel as the main pinnacle thing of mini retirements, but I don't think it necessarily has to involve travel, especially if you're not so travel inclined. I think you can do things like take me time, relax, take time to develop new skills or take classes, or just enjoy your hobbies and build your own schedule for a while. These can be just as valuable for your mini retirement. So as to my relationship to mini retirements, I jumped into a job and my career immediately after graduating college. It was boom, 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 elementary school, middle school, high school, get into a good college, go to classes, and then all of a sudden you're graduated and get the first job that you get, take that job, and all of a sudden you get there, you're in your first job, and you're like, wait a second, what just happened? I just blacked out for 22 years and here I am now in the corporate machine. It just happened so quickly, and I didn't realize that for some, starting your career is really the last time in your life until retirement that you may even have free time for yourself. So it was a whirlwind, but I just fell into it, as I think the vast majority of people do. And I realized pretty quickly this was not going to cut it for me. I got so burnt out working constantly and intuitively came to the conclusion that I needed to find more balance in my life and reprioritize things, figure out what I actually placed value in, and overall find more time and balance. So for me, that came through traveling and starting to just intuitively come to these mini retirements before I had even heard of the concept. So after all those years of going, one job to the next, one school to the next, I finally got to a point where I was so burnt out and I had a horrible manager experience, and I quit my job at TikTok with nothing lined up. And that was my first time just really going out on my own, out on a limb, but trusting in myself and trusting that things would fall into place, knowing that I needed to intentionally take a break. It wasn't worth it for me anymore, and I needed to figure out what to do next. So I quit with nothing lined up, and I had a one-way ticket to Madrid. I spent some time in Spain, then I spent some time in Egypt, and this was such an incredible and eye-opening experience for me, really pushed my boundaries in a lot of ways, and gained so much perspective about the world. I also love history, so it was amazingly cool to see some of like the pyramids in Egypt and go to the Valley of the Kings. It just was mind-blowing. And I couldn't have taken that opportunity while still holding my job. I was too burnt out. Vacation alone was not going to cut it. Of course, everything worked itself out and I found another job. And then I would say that my second mini retirement was a more classic version of mini retirement in terms of Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Work Week. I spent a period of time, about 3 weeks or so, traveling across the US and then spending around 2 weeks in Costa Rica, all while holding my own full-time job. And the way that I accomplished this was just by systematizing my work to a point that I was producing the exact same output as I was at home. And my managers and coworkers didn't suspect anything, didn't blink an eye when I eventually told them that I had been traveling for an extended period of time. My third mini retirement was when I was laid off. For me, this was such a luxury, and I talked about this in another video, all the advantages that happened for me when I got laid off. But I would say that this spurred for me my next mini retirement. I had a few month period, and this was the longest mini retirement I took, around 4 months, where I got to build my own schedule every single day, travel extensively across the US, enjoy time with friends and family, relax, recharge, learned new skills, paid attention to my mental health, leaned into my hobbies like yoga, reframing my layoff as a mini retirement, and instead of taking it as a huge setback in my career, was a really positive thing for me. Seriously, not working, such a luxury. My next mini retirement was another intentional travel experience before starting a next job. I took around 2 to 3 weeks and traveled around Bali. This was my first time doing a solo trip in Asia, pretty far from, one, physically far from anything that I knew, and two, just totally different way that society was set up than what I was used to. So another really expansive and eye-opening experience for me, but also a ton of fun. Oh my gosh, you meet so many cool people when you travel solo. I swear to God, this was an incredible mini retirement. And then most recently, I did a multi-week trip to Vietnam while still holding my current job. This was actually a more traditional PTO experience, but I would say that it's different than a vacation because it was very intentional. I went into it with the mindset of an expansive and learning experience and collected so many incredible experiences along the way. So it begs the question, what makes a mini retirement different than a vacation? And to me, it all comes down to intentionality. At least in the US, when we think of vacation, it's typically solely a recharge period, likely because you've been working so hard that you're burnt out, rather than being able to soak up the experience and really find it an enriching and fulfilling journey and adventure. You'll just spend the entire time exhausted and trying to recover from the amount that you were working in your typical day-to-day life. I think what also makes it different from a vacation is when you think about long-term retirement, you don't have to worry about fire or retiring early if the goalpost that you're looking at isn't always at the end of the line and end of the road for you. Instead, if you just sprinkle in gaining experiences throughout your lifetime, then you'll never get to a point where you feel frustrated that you're not at retirement yet, or always be looking ahead at what's next rather than taking advantage of what's now. So what do you get out of mini retirements and what makes them so important? Firstly, there are obviously mental health benefits here. You can prevent burnout, reduce your stress. It also allows you to improve your mental clarity, advance your creativity. Again, it's just this period of time where you're focusing on yourself, expanding your mind, and you don't have to answer to anyone else. And isn't that a special and rare thing that you should take advantage of? There are also career benefits, actually, of mini retirements, as counterintuitive as that might seem. You'll be able to return to work just renewed and with new focus and energy. You'll also have gained fresh perspectives from everything that you've experienced along the way and all the people that you've met, stories that you heard, and your own memories that you were able to create. And by stepping outside your comfort zone, I'm sure you've gotten even more cultural perspective, especially if you are traveling. Especially if you're going to try and keep your job while doing a mini retirement, this will also advance your career by allowing you to figure out and learn new systems and ways that you will work in order to optimize your output. It'll also increase your productivity when you do come back because you'll be more mentally refreshed. Finally, there are huge personal growth benefits here. You have an opportunity to use this mini retirement to learn new skills or pursue your passions. You can learn a new language, you can take a course, and just gain various experiences and say yes to the opportunities that come your way in life. It allows you to take some time to reflect on your goals, both professionally and personally, and figure out your life priorities. This alleviates the pressure of having to wait till retirement to figure everything out. Why not do it now? Also, by getting out of your comfort zone and trying something completely different, maybe traveling to a place where you don't know the language or don't know the culture, you're going to be a little bit scared and outside your comfort zone. You'll have to learn to navigate and be adaptable and flexible, and you'll learn cultural competency and all these other incredible skills that will be huge for your own personal development, fulfillment, and growth. So how do you take a mini retirement? 1, take some time off between high school and college, or between college and career, or whenever that natural first break before you have to make the decision of career or not. Take some time then. I think especially in the US, this is something that we find a little bit taboo, and other countries are a little bit more accepting of taking this time for yourself. And this is such an unfortunate thing about the US, because I think that more people should feel comfortable taking time earlier in their lives when you're still young and have the parish of time on your side. This is a fantastic time to take a first mini retirement, think about your life, your goals and career, and just learn so much about yourself along the way. You can also take time between jobs, try and negotiate a later start date to give yourself some time to travel, take some time off, relax, learn something new. This is a really great opportunity while maintaining a typical career trajectory. Take time off when you're switching between jobs. You can also find a job that offers more flexibility, especially in this day and age where work from home is more prevalent and the digital era makes it very easy to do things like Zoom into work or do other sort of productive work online. Find a job that gives you the flexibility to constantly be trying out mini retirement. The next option is to quit your damn job. And it's scary and it's kind of a wild thing to do, but I've been there. I was so burnt out. I can't even describe how burnt out I was. And I got this new manager that I knew it wasn't going to work out. And at that point in time, I said, I'm taking a chance on myself. And I think that the universe is going to have my back. I'm just so grateful for having been able to set that boundary and quit my job when it was not working out anymore. And then being able to use that time for a mini retirement, a little reset period, travel, experience new things. That was an incredible experience for me that I hope other people might take the courage to do if it makes sense for you. You can also use your layoff to your advantage. This is another one for me. It was such a pleasant surprise being laid off. I mean, it's kind of crazy and freaky, and I did a whole other video on this, but it also is such a good opportunity to take time off work. When do you ever take time off work? Especially if you are constantly looking ahead at retirement. A layoff can actually be a blessing in disguise. When do you ever get to take off work? Just reframe it. You can also use your time off to replicate mini retirements. I think that the thought that you need to do some drastic action is incorrect. You can do mini retirements and take this time for yourself through your own vacation days, paid time off, if you just use it intentionally rather than burning yourself out and getting to a point where all you can do is sit on the beach. Not that sitting on the beach is a bad thing. Definitely go sit on the beach if you want to. But if you get to that level of a grind that your vacation is literally just like being a blob and needing to recharge, that's not as intentional and doesn't make it a mini retirement. So in all, why wait to 65 to live your freaking life? You can start to prioritize yourself now and find things that are going to be enriching, fulfilling, create some memories along the way, all through taking mini retirements sprinkled throughout your career. Think about your goals in life. What do you want out of this life? I doubt it's to work every day until you're 65, 60, 70, whatever it may be. Who knows by the time we're retiring, and then go travel the world when you have a hip replacement coming up soon or something like that. Why wait? Why wait to pursue those goals? Why wait to pursue that dream? You can do that now if you're just intentional about it, budget wisely. You can make it work. You truly can make everything work. It's been something that's been so helpful for me and so grateful for me to intuitively come to, and I hope that you find value in it as well. So what do you think of the concept of mini retirements? Have you been doing this in your own life and career? Are you still trying to figure out how to build wealth in the slower, more traditional route to then retire later in life? Or do you just hate to travel and none of this really rings a bell to you anyway? Leave a comment about how you are thinking about your career, balancing it with travel experiences and mini retirements, because I would love to hear how other people are thinking about this and hear some fresh perspectives and engage with some new people. If you found any of this helpful, throw this video a like. And I do a lot of little bits on career and advice and travel, getting laid off. So if any of this resonates with you, subscribe to follow along. I'm totally new to this YouTube thing, so anything helps, and I really appreciate your engagement. And I'm just so excited to be here and be talking with you. At the end of the day, why wait? Take advantage now, live your life to the fullest, and make sure that you are saying yes to all the opportunities that are coming your way and just finding those things that are going to be personally fulfilling and enriching for you throughout your entire life rather than saving it all to the end. My name's Kate. I'm another girl with a microphone, and thanks for watching. Talk soon.